Y'all, look what we got today. So I'm gonna cut these up and freeze them and save these beans for hard beans for cooking in the winter. I'm gonna turn these cayenne peppers into a heat salve for muscle pain, freeze the tomatoes, and I'm fixing to turn these apples into canned apple pie filling. Oops. Don't want to yank those off because you don't want to destroy that bud right there where the flowers will form next year. My basket is overflowing. I'm gonna have to get another basket. Oh, this warms my soul with such pleasure. Look at this. The little one right there. Okay, I definitely have to come back with another bowl because there's plenty more. Yep, and my dogs will steal them if I don't watch it because they like apples too. Okay, there's a few on here that's small. I'm gonna leave and see if they get bigger. Look at this. These started to form and then didn't do anything. Isn't that weird? It's like apple nuggets. All right, let's get another bowl, take these in, and get ready to can up some apple pie filling. Oops, they are falling everywhere. There's plenty more out there, but we're gonna start with these. Oops. And see how many jars of canned apples we can get from this. All right, y'all, so we are ready to process these apples. I'm going to start off with this first because these were the first ones that I picked from the trees. These are the second batch that I'm probably going to do tonight or tomorrow. I just picked these yesterday and I still have more on the trees. But what I'm going to do is set these aside and just start on this bowl right here first. I've got me some lemon juice and some water. I put maybe about a third or a fourth of a cup of lemon juice, somewhere around there. I just poured it in and gassed. And what I'm going to do is core and peel these apples. Get you one of these. These are a game changer. Got it off of Amazon, apple peeler and corer. So we're going to process these apples as quickly as possible. Put them, when I get them cored and spiraled, they're going to go in this lemon water to keep them from turning brown. If they do turn brown, a little brown, that's okay. I mean, they're going to be looking brown anyways whenever they're made into apple pie filling. So we've got our clear gel. Use this when you're processing to make some apple pie filling. Got our sugar, our lemon juice, some cinnamon, some nutmeg. Might throw in a pinch of salt. We'll see. I'm just going to taste test it as I'm making it. And let's get started making some apple pie filling. Okay, so I've got 4.5 cups of sugar in this bowl, and I'm going to add in a cup of the clear gel. This powder kind of flings everywhere. I'm going to mix the clear gel in with the sugar before I put it in the water. Lord, this is getting everywhere. There we go. Should be clean. I think I'm making a little mess with this stuff. This powder flies. It's basically like a concentrated cornstarch. Don't use regular cornstarch when you're canning. It doesn't turn out as good, so make sure you get the clear gel. All right. So let's mix this up, and I don't know. Hold on, I gotta find my mixer. Okay, I couldn't find it, so I got my little piece to my little handheld blender thing. I'm just going to incorporate the sugar and the clear gel in with each other. And then I'm going to throw in 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg and 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. Okay. So let's add our nutmeg. 1/4 teaspoon. And 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Lord, I can't find my teaspoon. Here it is. Okay. All right. Mix this up, and then we will start incorporating this in our water. Actually, I'm going to wait before I put that in the water. I'm going to set this aside. And you're going to mix this when I am ready into 10 cups of water. Some people use apple juice, like say 3 or 4 of those 10 cups could be apple juice and the rest be water. I don't have any apple juice on hand, so I'm just going to make it with water, and that's okay. But if you got apple juice, you get 10 bonus points, okay? All right, it already smells so good. That stuff you see powder flying, that's the clear gel. About have to wear a mask, a gas mask, for this flying stuff. All right, we're going to set this aside. And then we've got our water and our lemon juice. Again, I put maybe between 1/4 cup and 1/3 cup of lemon juice in the water. It's no real specific measurement. I just wanted enough lemon juice in there to to try to prevent these from turning brown. So get you one of these, y'all. I'm telling you, game changer. Game changer. Processes apples super quick. Peels, cores, spirals. You can do potatoes in this thing. I just stick that part of the apple right in there. Okay. And let's see if we can get a better shot of how this works. So we got everything aside. Now watch the magic. Just twist your little lid here. Watch this. Ooh, I can smell the Smith & Granny on these apples. It smells delicious. There we go. Now watch this. There's the core. Here's your peelings. You can save these and make vinegar if you want. I'm going to toss them in my compost bin. But there you go. It's spiraled. How about that? I'm going to actually get a knife and peel off any little bits that look bad. before I break it up, like right here, you know, we'll eat that. That's good. That's good eating. Little brown spot right there we'll get off. I have a dog that loves apples, so she'll be at my feet here when she starts smelling it. But just break those up, throw them in the water. Super easy. That's all it is. So we'll get the rest of these apples. I've got this big tub here. Let's get them processed. Okay, so I ended up peeling and coring 22 apples. I have some left, but I ran out of room here. So I'm going to make this, and whenever I'm ready to process this, I'll be putting the apples in the jar and then pouring this solution over it. So if I have any headspace left, then I can quickly peel another apple and stuff it in a jar. So that's the plan that we're going to do. We've got our 10 cups of water in our dry mix right here. We're going to mix this together slowly, and then we're going to bring it to a boil, a low heat, until it thickens up to that apple pie consistency. Okay, so as this is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and start my canning water and get it heating up as well. That way it'll be ready to drop these hot jars in once I'm ready to get this canned. All right, y'all, it is starting to thicken up a little bit, and as this thickens, you might see some clumps. That's okay, just trust the process, keep stirring. And at the end, whenever it's completely, whoa, that popped right there, scared me to death, Lord. Once it's completely thickened up to the consistency that I want, the lemon juice let me know it was present here, and I need to put a little bit of lemon juice in there at the tail end of it and mix it in real good. I'll probably put maybe about 1/4 cup of lemon juice in here, and that just helps with stabilization whenever you're canning it. So it adds that acidity to help stabilize what you're canning. I put lemon juice in when I'm making lacto fermented salsa and stuff like that, so good to have on hand. All right, we'll get this thickened up a little more, and we'll be right back. Okay, so this is about the consistency that I want it. It's nice and thick. You can tell the bubbling is thick. See that? So now I'm going to add in some lemon juice and incorporate that in real good, and then we'll get ready to start stuffing the jars over here with the apples, and then we'll pour this stuff in and leave about 1 inch of headspace. You make sure that you leave that inch of headspace, because as this process is, when you're water bathing, it will kind of swell up a little bit, and you might have some leaking out of the jar, softening out, and you want to try to not let that happen, so leave your inch of headspace. All right, I'm going to turn the heat off, add in 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Okay, so the first order of business for this is I'm going to take my apples and I'm going to stuff them in the jars. And hopefully every jar will be enough for 1 apple pie. Okay. Honestly, I don't know why I'm using this right here right now, because that's going to be used later. So I've got the apples in that. I've left 1 inch of headspace. They did have some browning, but that's okay. Lord, I keep dropping them. Just rinse them off and stuff them in there. We'll start at the front. This stuff is hot. Actually, let me get a plate to go back and forth. I don't want to scorch myself. This is getting everywhere, even with the plate. I tried to not make a mess, but that's all right. We're making one. That's okay. We'll clean it. We'll clean it all up. All right, I'll be back. Actually, I do want to show something. So as these are processing, take your knife, or if you've got the correct tool, and push out air bubbles, because this filling is notorious for making air bubbles. So we want to push those out as best as possible. And resume filling the jars. We still got plenty of room. We'll just keep going back and forth until we get them all full. And then we'll be right back. Okay, we've got our 6 jars done. I had just a tiny bit left over, and I'm gonna make maybe some little apple fritters with dinner tonight for the kids when they get home. With what's left, clean the tops of the jars off because you don't want anything obstructing the sealing process. Get those nice and clean. You don't want any kind of debris on the tops there. Okay. We'll do that one more time. All right, let's get our lids on. Put these lids on just snug. You want the air to be able to release. I hope I didn't get those too full. And I'm going to process these. You have to make sure you have at least a couple. I like to leave a couple of inches of water overhead when I'm canning. I'm going to process these for about 30 to 35 minutes, and then we'll be back. So while these were water bathing, I ended up only being able to fit 4 of those larger jars in this. So I used up 5 more apples and stuffed these 2 smaller pint jars, which is pretty much equivalent to the quart. And then I used the last bit of syrup, so that way I would have 3 more jars that I could can a second batch. And I can use these smaller jars, say if I'm making a pie with one of these larger ones and I still need just a tad bit more, I can open up one of these and, you know, pour it in. So I think I'll do that with my next batch that I make as well, just in case extra smaller jar to fill that pie up. So let's get these finished processing and we'll be right back. All right, it's been 30 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and get these jars out and see if they start pinging. Look at that. And we'll get our other jars in and time it for another 30 minutes. All right, y'all, these are done. The 6 or the 5 bigger ones have already pinged down, and we're waiting on the last 3. So ended up with a total of 7 quarts from that recipe. Hey y'all, so I ended up with 7 quarts of apple pie filling, and I've got enough apples on my trees and in this box that I'm going to be able to process maybe 3 more batches. So I end up with close to 30 around that quarts of apple pie filling, which will last us for the whole year. Y'all, if you don't have any fruit trees or apple trees, plant you one now. The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is to do it now. You won't regret it. I planted these trees just 4 years ago. This is my first year of getting a good harvest. Last year I got maybe 2 apples, I think that was it, and none the year before. So within 4 years, I have this. It's worth it. Get yourself some fruit trees. You won't regret it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. Bye.